Hey, what's going on? This is Corey Whitlock with Six Figure TV Modeling Coach. And today I want to discuss leads, specifically paid leads, and how they're supposed to fit into your business. And so before I built a six-figure TV modeling business, I was exactly where most installers are, which is relying almost entirely on lead paid platforms and word of mouth and dealing with just a real unpredictable, weak, inconsistent income. So paid leads, while they're not the enemy of your business, the concept of relying on them solely is. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the real reason why most TV modeling businesses don't grow, how different lead sources are actually supposed to fit all together at different stages of your business, and how that lead mix that you're going to need and really want is going to be predictable income instead of hoping and really relying on one platform or two platforms to keep feeding you work. Why do most installers start with paid leads? And I know for us, paid leads was an easy entrance into gaining leads for our business. It was an easy way for us, by us not really having any brand, any marketing going on out there, customers being oblivious to who we are. Going the paid lead route was an easy way to get our foot in the door and to have lead flow flowing into our business. You can count on typically between closing 8 to 12 jobs a week, and that's roughly where we were in terms of our averages. Depending on what type of budget you set for the different lead platforms, the leads can come in relatively fast, but obviously they do require you to have a certain level of sales skills. In the beginning, it was opportunity for us to cut our teeth in sales, become proficient at selling, become proficient at actually doing the actual installation and becoming good at those by the repetition. The main thing that you have to understand with this all is paid leads are a great starting point, but it becomes a crutch if you rely on them as your only source of leads. And once you become complacent, you don't really pay attention to how the ROI is not the same as it would be if you were to invest in other lead sources, adding other lead sources along with the paid leads. Because the problem starts when paid leads become the only thing that are keeping your calendar full. The other thing that you have to bear in mind is the cost. Every lead is going to cost you, and typically on average with these paid lead platforms, costs can range anywhere from about $19 per lead to as high as almost $50 per lead, with no real rhyme or reason as to why one lead may cost more than the other. But the thing is, you will never know how much a lead is going to cost, and if you hit a streak of not closing leads, 6, 7, 8 leads in a row that you haven't closed, you're essentially looking at possibly have spent $300 to $400 in a week's time when you look up and have only closed 1 or 2 leads for the entire week. And you've spent more money on leads than what you've been able to recoup from going out doing some of the work. So what all of this adds up to sometimes is just a high level of stress sometimes of really not knowing what the next week looks like. Because again, you are sitting back waiting on these leads to filter into your business to hopefully book and fill up the schedule. And so there just becomes a real reliance on these lead platforms when this is your only source of leads. And so with all of this, there was really just a misdiagnosis that really kept installers stuck and kept our company stuck. And what I understood by being complacent and just relying solely on these leads. I mean, this is a common mistake that I see amongst a lot of home service businesses that rely on paid leads. And so when the income feels unstable, most installers, they think it's a pricing or a skill issue in terms of being able to close these leads. And so what do logically? They lower the prices because that seems like the intelligent thing to do. And that's what a lot of companies do out of disparity to try to close jobs. And it becomes a race to the bottom. And you really destroy your profits for those jobs when you drastically are lowering prices. And you feel as though, well, maybe I have to work faster so I can get more jobs in, because that feels like the logical thing to do. Or maybe I need to buy better tools. Absolutely, you want to have better tools to do jobs more efficiently, but it feels as though, okay, this is the logical thing to do. But none of these things are going to fix your lead dependency. The issue wasn't how well I mounted TVs. It was that every single person I spoke to, I started with a cold start. I started from a standing start. These people, they didn't know our company prior to reaching out to these lead platforms who directed their information to us, and they're just learning us. So it was 100% relying on my sales ability once I got them on the phone. And so the moment I realized it wasn't a lead mix problem, but really it was an exposure problem. It was a marketing problem. That's when we made some changes in our business. The turning point was when I actually mapped out where my leads came from. What areas were we looking at to be able to go out and that we wanted to be able to market in. We started tracking our return on investments, our ROI by lead source, creating spreadsheets to be able to know where are these leads coming from, how much are we spending on these leads, and how much are we getting back revenue-wise on these leads. We had to start creating additional lead sources outside of just these paid lead platforms in order to have a real comprehensive marketing approach. And so I didn't need more leads. I needed a different mixture of leads. I had to go from having just 2 or 3 sources of leads, which were the paid leads and maybe some word of mouth, to having 7, 8, 9 different avenues in which leads were coming into my business. And some of those avenues, again, had to be built up organically, where we were not paying for the leads, what we like to consider free leads, to offset the leads that we were paying for. So therefore our marketing spend would be something that's reasonable and sustainable for a company that's trying to grow. We created a lead mix framework, and really it's a roadmap for ourselves in order to make sure that we are hitting a certain number of leads every week, every month, every year, and being able to create a really strong TV mounting business. Every strong TV mounting business is going to have a lead mix, not just one magic source that's feeding their business. And so for us, yes, paid leads was one component of that. And so being able to not only have paid leads in our business that we're taking, but being able to have a system in which how we go about being able to reach out to these paid leads to make sure that we are closing a certain percentage of these paid leads, because again, we're paying for these. And so we want to have a certain ROI of 4 times, 5 times, 6 times we're spending is coming back into the business with these paid leads based on the system that we have. How fast are we calling these leads? What are the pricing structures that we have for these leads, which may be different for our organic leads and whatnot? What does the follow-up system look like for these paid leads? Being able to pay attention and not just let the leads come in and not have something built around them. For us, what really changed once we built out a real lead mix? And I'll say, honestly, the business took off and it grew at that point. Once I diversified my lead sources, everything really stabilized because we had a constant, predictable number of leads that were coming to our business every day because we had so many different channels that were out there. And so Google became a major channel of leads for our business. Reviews was one of the main reasons why, because reviews sell on your behalf. Customer and social proof does 50% of the selling. You have no clue how many people have called up looking for a service and led the conversation off by saying, hey, one of the reasons I'm calling you guys is you guys just have an outstanding reputation online, so you must know what you're doing. And so the reviews sell the work for you, and there is no better platform to really achieve that on than Google. And so our referrals started to pick up once we had our system going, and we kind of knew what we wanted to offer people once we closed out jobs. And right there, while they're happy with the work that we've done for them in their homes, was the perfect time to ask them, hey, who else do you know that may be looking for this type of service? And here's the incentive that you'll get if you're able to send any folks our way. And so once we had that system dialed in, those leads really started to pick up. And so with these different lead channels that we're trying to build within the business and that I'm encouraging you to build within your business, the biggest mistake installers make with these lead channels is their impatience. A lot of times, and I'm even guilty in the beginning when I was building out some of these lead channels, is sometimes we will quit on certain things when it's not showing the result that we want in the time that we want it to show. Most installers will quit a lead channel before they ever start working. And that's because we want the results. We're in a microwave society where we want to be able to build something and press the 30-second button, and 30 seconds later it's producing. It's nice, warm, and ready to eat. And that's just not how these lead sources work. You have to build these brick by brick, like day after day, and with consistency. Google, again, going back to that, Google takes time, but Google will be your greatest source of leads if you build it the right way. Keep your paid leads running. Don't cut them off. We've started our paid leads when we first started the business. I have never cut the paid leads off. here we are years later. I've just been very smart about our approach with our paid leads. But our paid leads are still a very integral part of our business. They still feed and account for roughly 20% of the business and revenue that we close for our business. And so I by no means am trying to advise you to no longer use the paid leads, but start your Google business profile immediately. I mean, the second that you close this video out, go start up your Google My Business profile, because this is going to be the catalyst of your business a year or 2 years from now. Paid leads are going to fund the business in the beginning, but owned leads, the leads that you own, are going to be the ones that's going to secure your business. And so if you want help building this the right way, understanding which lead sources to use and at which stage, and really how to stack them without guessing, that's exactly what we do inside the 6-Figure TV Mounting course. There's a 7-day trial if you want the roadmap.